Hey guys, it's Diana. How you doing today? We're in the Artsy Rose group. I'm pretty sure. Or no. Yeah. Hold on. The Artsy Rose group. Long story what happened yesterday. Nothing I really did wrong. I told you they get this new page experience. It's an experience, all right. It's just like, there you go. I decided to do it. I changed over to it sometime last year, and it was a pain. So I said I'd have to do it because they're gonna. They keep popping all the stuff on there, whether I want it or not, because they're changing it. So there's this little special button. I got all excited. I won't have to go into the group and just hit the button. Well, I found you guys right on here. Every time I go to do the class, okay, it always goes back to the main page, and sometimes back to my profile. So I started this thing called Professional Profile, which they recommend that you do, so I do it. But it's kind of I try not to use it too much because my friends are in there. I'm sure they get sick of looking at me. Okay, turn the volume down there. See who's popping on. So this is supposed to be at 1 o'clock. I'm just doing something I found off the internet, and I'm not going to try to do it perfect. I took 2 or 3 images, I blew it up. So I'm going to kind of do a combination of both. But it's water lilies, just something different. And let me turn it up down there. And I just want to tell you about what I'm doing on Tuesdays. I'm going to be coming to here once this hits 500, and I believe it's pretty darn close to 400 now. I haven't invited everybody yet because I have like 1,100 people, and some of them are coming in from other groups I'm in and stuff. So I'm going to fix my hair, wash my hair. So just let you know that, invite your friends. Let you know that I won't be on Tuesdays. It'll be once it's there, at 500. And then I'm going to be offering later in the year what I call a challenge. It'll be 2 or 3 days. I don't know if I'm going to charge or not. But I'm thinking there was a few people that kind of couldn't make up their mind about joining. So if you're interested and you're in this group, I will put you on a waiting list. I'm not going to guarantee you're going to get in until I, do something. So I'm thinking before Christmas, but it'll be like a 2-3 day challenge. I'm going to do like color mixing, palette knife, probably 2-3 paintings, one every day. And you can follow along, and I'll put it into a group. I don't know what the name would be yet. And we could be together, and you can see what I do, and I'll get all my people to go, and we can laugh and horse around. And you get an idea of what I do in my classes, a little more advanced. I just made a schedule for the whole year. This is something we're taught to do. And I have a general idea of what I'm doing every month. And I thought I'd give you guys an idea. I got it right now. I showed it to my people last night. And it's going to be, you can rewatch this. So I'm going to tell you what. We're going to do, I'm going to give them a choice in 1 month, probably January, to do what they want. Or we're going to recap all the artists that we're going to do. We're going to copy some of their work and look at their history and maybe do some readings on it. So, like February we did Monet, March we did Van Gogh, April we did Bob Ross, this month Kincaid, next month Kahlo. And then I'm going to do a artist that I just love, because I love palette knife. Her name is Manalisco, and she's Italian. And then the following month, with a combination of her, we're going to do Gaffrey, because he does palette knife, big stuff, the big sticky stuff. It's just thick, and I'm going to do that. And then we're going to do some of my work the following month, which would be September. We're going to do some of my palette knife work, because I got some stuff started I want to finish, and we're going to talk about that. And the following month would be Matisse, and then Klimt. And then we're going to recap at the end of the year, too. Maybe they'll have some people they want to see. So I want to get more into the flowers. And a lot of these people do flowers, and they do palette knife. Hey, Kathy Jo. So, and then every month we're going to have a flower, which I'm going to probably change up next year. But this is for a whole year's schedule. I have daisies, narcissus, tulips, lilacs. This month is rose, peony, hydrangea. And all this is changeable. And every month I have a video or a tip. Half an hour to 40 minutes, real short. And I'm going to do one like on supplies and canvas, and one on framing, one on sealing your acrylic painting. I'm going to do some on palette knife, on drawing. So there's going to be a video on everything that you need. And a lot of that is in my, I don't know how many videos is in there, 200, so I don't know. There's a lot on top of that. And some of that I'm going to change up a little bit because I'm changing around. I'm trying to get more flowers and stuff. But there's a lot of wonderful content in there. And then we have a creative week. You have a week off. Then you get a monthly calendar, which I do every month. And that way you can put it up on your wall and you can keep track, which I got it all sticky over here. I make one every month. It's always a little different every month because, you know, I'm an artist and I like to change it up. So here's our little calendar for June. It just tells what we're doing that month and what our challenge is. You know, I write in Father's Day or whatever holiday is coming up. And so you have a whole schedule, so you're not, oh, hold on, I got sticky stuff on here. So you're not like completely confused and you don't know what's going on. So you got a nice little schedule. And no one says you got to keep up because there's no like agenda to keep up. I do have some little tasks for you to do. You know, right off the bat, you'll be doing stuff and catching up because everybody will be in the same boat. But anybody that's already done all the beginning stuff and like the guide through I think it's 1 through 19 or something like that. If you've done like brushes and you know how to color mix and you know how to do certain things, then you know it's a win-win for you because you get through half the course already. So then all you got to do is watch the mastery classes on Thursday and all the past classes and then my little tips and stuff like that. And there's some inspiration people in there. And I actually have a couple artists that I did interviews on YouTube. And I want to do some more. And I'm going to put them in there. And I'm going to put them in the guide section. Just haven't done it. And you guys, probably some of you people probably know who they are. And you probably do their classes. Hey, Judy. I just got your message, but I was in the middle of getting ready. I hope you're all right, honey. You know, that's what my mother had. She had Alzheimer's, too. So, I mean, it's okay. You won't even remember at the end. But you can have that quite a while. My girlfriend's father had that. Her husband had that maybe 15, 16 years. It was a long time. So, you ain't got to do anything. You could just watch. Poor Judy, get up out of that bed. She come watch us, won't you, Judy? You come watch us. Jim was on yesterday. You should have came on yesterday. Anyway, so we're gonna do these flowers today. So I just want to give everybody a rundown of what we're going to be doing in the arts in my paid group. And anybody who wants to advance stuff, it's still the same price, $23. But it's not open right now. So you can go on a waiting list. And like I said, I'm thinking 6 months down the road, I was going to wait a year. I might do a challenge where you can come in to the group. I'm going to put you, it's a good idea. I could put you right into the group for like 3 days. And some people do a separate group. And then like show you what I do. You can see some of the stuff I figured out. And then learn like some color mixing, palette knife, and basic composition. And get some paintings out of the deal and possibly some tracers. And, you know, win some prizes. I'm going to give out prizes, of course. Of course, this month in the group, it's Rose Month because it's June, of course. And there'll be Happy Meal going out. I already owe her. She won last month. Jerry did. So we're going to get started on this painting. So that's just a rundown of what's going on. I didn't get up till late. I got up like an hour ago. I washed my hair, got something to eat, took my vitamins, talked to my dad, started this painting. I knew what I was going to do. So that's the advantage of like having a schedule. Even though I ain't got it down perfect, if I have an idea what I'm doing, and I'm doing a lot of stuff from last year, because I go back and look. I know I started at Mother's Day, this group, or my garden palette, but I started my business in October. So this group, I think, was actually here before the other one. So this group might be close to 3 years old. But I never really did anything with it. Yeah, I didn't even know why I had it. They told me I should have it. I took some class to go get it. And they were like, you could get some emails off it and you can get some people over there. I'm like, but why? Because I didn't know nothing. I knew nothing. Right? I was still trying to figure out my iPhone. I had a track phone for like 10 years. You know, so I didn't know anything. I couldn't copy. I couldn't paste. I didn't know how to do a link. I didn't know how to do a pixel. I didn't know anything, nothing. So it's amazing. I teach right brain, left brain in my course, or whatever you want to call it, which is another subject, maybe a course someday. And so funny because I'm artistic, so I'm the other side, and you might be more like analytical. So you might do a lot of typing and stuff. I learned to do the other side, even though I'm the other side. So what they say is, you got to train your brain, and we talk about that in a lot of my classes and stuff. You have to train your brain. So just because you think you're not, some art teacher back in 1927 told you couldn't paint because you did something wrong, that's wrong. She should have never said it to you. I think all people are creative, and it's just that you are going to be maybe Andy Warhol, who's got a different type of art than maybe Matisse or, Monet or whatever. So everybody's art is different. You might be a different type of artist. So the only way you can find that out is if you really enjoy it and like it, you should join some classes. This is mostly beginners. I find I do a lot of the older age group, 45 and up. So this is a perfect group for you. A lot of us are either hobbyists or we've been doing it a while. We want to pick up our skills. So I find a lot of the people in the group, I tend to attract a lot of the same people. Even when I did hairdressing, my people were just like me, funny, outgoing, crazy. And my girlfriend, Italian, a lot of money, a little tight. They're all just like her. She's complained about it. They're all doing the same thing she does. So I find that a lot of people attract the same kind of people, so I'm pretty straightforward and honest. So, as I can be with people, because people sometimes can't take it. And sometimes my mouth gets me in trouble. And I know it. So, all right. So what we're going to do next is I'm going to do the background. And the thing with doing these lives is you got to be yourself because, I always thought everybody was going back and fixing all the, it turns out that it's too much work to fix these. If I'm worried about Facebook, maybe I cuss by accident, or my customer cussed, and I'm worried about it, I will go back and I can fix it. But what a pain in the butt. But most of the time, I'm on here live. There's going to be mistakes, and that's just the way it is. So, all right. So I started putting in the pink and the white one, but I added another one. You guys remember, we did a Monet together, which I'm looking up on my wall. This is not my house. And this is something similar to somebody else's rendition. I don't know who it is. And I liked it. I liked all the colors. So I pulled it off of the internet. And I'm not even claiming that it's mine, but it's not even going to look like it. And I added one more. And I added the darker colors because anybody that knows who works with me knows, or any kind of artist knows that you always go from dark to light. So I started out with the base tones. Let me take this down again. I started out with the base tones of these colors. This color has a lot of white, has blue in it, if you know that. And then that's just right here. And then this one I'm going to do a little darker white. So there's purple in this bottom. So I did a purplish one. And this pink one, I did it pretty dark, but I'm going to lighten these up. And I'm going to do the details at the end. I always start out, I call it blocking in. And I block in all my colors first. And I'm blocking in, impressionists do that. We just kind of add the color where we see it a little bit at a time. And you just keep blocking in, blocking in. If anybody watched my class on abstract, that's what I do. I just kind of block in the colors as I go. And then when I get it close, then I start worried about the bigger details and then the smaller details, and then I finish up. So usually you go over 2 to 3 times when you do any kind of painting, but you basically, the first part, you're basically looking for composition, where everything is going, like arranging your furniture, making sure it looks good. You can see I used a pencil. I didn't like it, so I made these a little bigger, but I had the basic idea of what I wanted to create down on the paper with a pencil. Now, a lot of times I do that with a paintbrush. But because I want you to learn this, I start out with a pencil. But for years, I did a pencil. I didn't do a pen. I didn't do paint. I didn't start developing that until, I have been doing it a while. I'm going to block in a little yellow on this inside just to have it in there. and a little orange. There's yellow and orange in this section. If you download that picture off the internet, you'll be able to see this. Now I'm just putting in some color on. You see, I'm not like trying to make a major shape yet. I'm gonna put a little darker that red, and I'm gonna put a little bit of blue in it, which give me like a dark violet. I'll tell you the colors I got. Hold on. Just darken it up a little bit. I got, it's mostly Deco Art, and I got the Kelly Green. I got this is another company. It's just a really bright yellow. And this is a Tutti Frutti, and this is raspberry, and this is Tiger Lily. And I got this light blue, which I use right in the flowers. This baby blue is used right in the flowers. So it's pretty cool. See what I mean? It's like that little bit of pink that's on my brush gives a really pretty violet color. You can do that right here. Could put more down here, darken the space up if I want to. Right around in here, darken everything up. All right, this one I got a little too. I'm gonna do a little pinker. Last night, yesterday I slept so good and I slept in. I was like, I never do it. Never, guys, never sleep in. Yeah, I might go to bed late or something, but I'm up pretty early. I mean, sometimes I take a little nap in the afternoon, but I never wow, I knew it. I knew I shouldn't have done. I should have got up out of the bed. I couldn't sleep at all last night. It's a son of a gun. I hate that. I hate that more than anything. So it's supposed to rain today. I want to go out there. We got to get the flowers in the pots. She's got everything else in, my sister. See, I'm just putting in colors randomly. So now I'm going to do my background, which is mostly blue and green. Now I'm going to come right in. This is a round brush. It's pretty large, but it's a round brush. And I'm going to come in with the blues, and I'm going to go, there's like green lily pads. So I'm going to go around these lily pads because I'm going to overextend them with the green. And I'm going to start I'm going to smush in, literally smush in some blues. And I want some light, so I'll pick up some white, and I'm going to smush in some white. See, I'm like, this is an old brush, so I'm really kind of smashing it in. Sometimes you got to don't throw away your old brushes. They are so good for like a mashing in watercolors to give it like a really rough look. This is like a good thing. There's enough blue on this brush that I can just go lighter by just adding a little more white, and while it's still wet, kind of mashing it into the other color. This is basically a form of dry brushing. I call it mashing, and you'll notice I like to mix on the palette a lot. That's not unusual. There's a lot of artists that do. I think that comes from my, there's a lot of famous artists that do it. It comes from me learning oils first. I'm not sure, but I know that that's what a lot of people do, but not necessarily. But I'm just saying that I think that's why I do it. So people say, what are you doing, Diana? Well, I'm just picking up color and I'm mashing it in. Because with oils, even though you got to worry about, making a mistake putting the wrong colors in, you can correct it by putting another color in and blending it. That's where you learn a lot of color correction, because you can't just like wait for it to dry. Like acrylics are wonderful. You wait for it to dry and you go back over the top of it. As long as you don't get too thick, unless you're doing something, if you're doing some kind of thick technique, like impasto, which is another class, which is actually kind of part of palette knifing. It's just thick paint. So I'm just making different colors and values. And values means there's a value scale. Where did I put it? I had my little, I do it. If you use a color wheel, most of them have a little side thing. Oh, here it is. It shows you values right here on your grayscale. And all that means is dark to light, and your value is related to how bright or pale a color is. So that means like if you're using a pale pink, that would be a very light color on a value scale. If you're using, say like a pop culture kind of oranges and reds and they're very bright, that would be a very light color. If you're using really dark tones like the blues, their value is darker. It's not really a color, it's just a value. And a value could also be the tone. It could be like a reddish-based orange. It could be a blue that's greenish-based, you know, stuff like that. So it's not real complicated. It's just we make it complicated. But the grayscale is on most of these pocket colors, all the big ones too. It says grayscale values 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 10 being the lightest and 6 being the darkest. So I'm making different values with just 2 colors, blue and white. So that's where you get into the color blocking, which we're doing this week. I screwed up that video, so I'm going to go back and do it. But my father, if I had to, I go 3 nights a week, so if I had to ask him one more night, I'm afraid he'd get mad. So I didn't do it last night, so I'm going to do it later. But yeah, that's the color blocking. Has a lot of value involved in it too. So I'm just taking and I'm smushing in the blue and the white, and I'm just looking at the painting. And I know there's going to be like another lily pad right in here, so I'm going to kind of just take this blue or this white and the dark blue and kind of, I think I'm going to put one right in here too, so I'm going to just do this in white right here. So just kind of decide what you want your water to look like. And then the lily pad's going to go right here, and the thing is that usually there's little tendrils, you know, the lily pad is held down by, I mean, or they'd just be floating it. They wouldn't be up on the top of the water. It's like the root of the plant. Well, see, I don't worry about it first. I'm just blacking in the color about these edges because, you know, it being acrylic paint, I can go back and fix those edges. So, yeah. Yeah, I talked to Jim last night. He's doing pretty good. Again, you guys that know that hang out with Jim, he's doing all right. Just got that house up in the mountains. He's not sure what he's going to do with it yet, but he's thinking he's going to sell it. Taxes and everything, it's gotten so ridiculous. It's hard to hang on to anything. You guys know I'm going through some house stuff right now because my house got hit by a car. And I don't know. Still waiting on it. And I don't know if I'm going back or not. I just don't know. I got to waiting on the insurance companies. And then Juster, he's going back and forth with what he wants to do with them. I don't know. I told him what I want and just figured out, you know, I'd like to go back to my home. I was there like 26 years. 27, I think. So I'm just putting all these different values in, which might not make no sense right now, but kind of keep like underneath where the lily pads are going to go, kind of dark. There's some lily pads here, so. And then there's like kind of like these reflections, so I'm not going to do all this. There's these reflections from the flowers on the top of the water right here. So let's just keep this like a medium blue. I'm going to mix it with this other blue so it's lighter, because we're going to put some like really pretty colors right in here. See, I'm not really trying to do it like perfect. You don't want to do that. This is a little impressionistic, this painting. If you can download it, it would be great. But this is a little bit impressionistic. But see how like there's these pinks and oranges, and there's like these greens. These are the leaves, and this is a leaf. It's really dark. And this one is too, but they got some highlights on it. So I'm going to play with that a little bit with the colors and stuff. Whoa! So I'm just, like I said, I'm just blacking in this color. Now, normally when I do this in my master class, mastery I call it because you're learning it. You're learning to master it. I said master class, I changed it to mastery because, you know, you're not really a master yet, but I don't really know if I am either. But I just felt like, it made more sense. But what I teach is, I was get really, there's a lot more detail to this. We stretch this over a couple months, or in a couple weeks, up to a month. We do 1 to 2 paintings a month. And the reason I do that is I can explain why I do everything the way I do it, and maybe throw in a video, maybe lead them to a guide to go look at, so they understand it a little bit better. We're doing a class in an hour, so you're just getting the gist of the painting. That's why a lot of times when I do the weekly classes, I have the painting. I try to have something ready so they can download it or get a tracer and look at it. Whereas this, you're kind of watching me design it without much explanation. If I don't have something ready, this is what I do. I just do the painting. And it would be better if you had, if you were in the class and we could explain every little detail, throw a video at you or something, say do this, So, these classes you guys watch online, they're wonderful. I know a lot of the artists. A lot of times I run into some of my clients. I see you guys in other places, which is fine. So I know a lot of the girls that are doing this online. In this area, there's not a ton, but there's quite a few. And I watch them too. I love watching the other artists, but it's really, most of the time, it's the tracers and stuff. And they're all cute paintings. They're all good artists, but if you want a little bit more, then you gotta go, unless you want to go to like some of the artists who are going to go over like Gaff, they do give classes, but they ain't cheap. All right, so I got some like shadows. I'm trying to get some shadows going here. Let me just put some here, I think, underneath this one lily pad. I think a little bit more here. A little darkness, bring it into that. You want the lily to like be in the ground, kind of. I call it floating. Is sometimes if you don't put darkness under something light, it isn't gotta be real dark, just darker, or it's gotta be different, like darker value of the same color. What happens is it looks like it just doesn't belong there. It's floating. All right, so now I'm gonna take that same round brush, it's a medium round brush, and I'm gonna take the green. And I want it dark to start with, so I'm going to do the blue and the green. I'm going to do this bottom one, it's pretty dark. Blue and green, I had a little brown out. Do I want brown? I'm thinking just a touch. I got this milk chocolate. I'm going to put just a tad of this next to it, just to kind of give this a... It's blue and green, and then a little bit of that brown. So pretty. So it's like a, I don't know what you want to call it, dark chartreuse or something. I'm just going to kind of make a lily pad, but this one's a really dark one. Now lily pads have this like, they go like a heart shape. And they come to a point, if you guys know what I mean. And there seems to be some bits and pieces over here of one, and just kind of put an indication there. Now this is the ugly stage, so don't freak out on me. It's the ugly stage, guys. And I can't see your comments. Let me see if I can see your comments. Sometimes I tell you guys, I can see them up here, or I can't get all of them until later, which is so irritating. So this is the ugly stage. Let's see. Oh, your dad had it, Judy? Well, there's a pretty good chance I'll probably get it too. They wanted to test me, and I said, no, I can wait. She was in her 60s when she got it. Remember, she was only 76 when she died, and I'm 65. I'll be 66, so. They're not saying it runs in families, but yeah, you don't know. But, God willing. All right, so the only two on here right now, I think. So, I think that's, we got. See, I got that comment here, but I haven't got that comment up here. I see you're on here watching. It doesn't tell me. It says Kathy Jo is watching. But it doesn't tell me if Kathy Jo has made any other comments. Kathy Jo, say something else so I know that you're watching still. You still watching, or you eating breakfast or something? Lunch. All right. Yeah, they got a lot of new stuff on here, too. I've hit a button, and it wants me to invite her on. I ain't going to do that. There's a lot of new stuff on here now, so you have to be careful what you hit. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to make like a heart shape. I'm going to take that blue, green, and brown. I'm going to cut in. I'm going to need a smaller brush to go around these, but I'm just going to block all these colors in still. Then I'm going to go through and like make sure these are all like perfect. There's some darker green on this side. It's not all dark green though. There's some highlights on this too. This is actually kind of a pretty green. I don't know what you would call it, but I'm just kind of getting these shapes of. I'm going to dry brush this a little bit. It's a little painting. Oh, it's a war right painting with a twist brush. It's a round brush, but it's like a short round. You can see like a short round. All right, so now up on this top one, there's like the green. I'm gonna leave this dirty brush, whatever colors are in here, plus I'm gonna pick up some green. And there's like a little bit of a lily pad right in here too, right in here. So I'm gonna kind of let that one be. I'm gonna just do the pointy part. And I'm gonna go like this. I'm going to pick up that green with my dirty brush up here. There's another lily pad here. This is going to get some highlights, so I'm just going to do some, kind of just the middle part. And then I'm going to hit that with some yellow. So I'll post this. It's funny how Facebook does their, if I want to post something, I want to put the link into here so people can get in this group and watch this. You can only do it like in a post. You can't do it in a video. So if I have a video and I want to sell you like my membership, then I have to come back and add the link into the comments section. So a lot of times if you see something I got for sale and you can't find it, go down into the see, I put a little highlight on that. I might mix up that other green. I made that dark greenish with the brown. And just put like a little shadow underneath here because I think I'm going to bring this over. And then underneath this I can put a shadow because there's going to be like a little tendril. A little shadow underneath that. Probably a little shadow underneath this one. Don't need that brown and green. A little shadow. I'm making sure this stuff is like in the ground, you know what I mean? And I can put a little highlight on this too if I want. There you go. It has like this, it's like shaped like a heart. Let me get that yellow. Shaped like a heart, kind of like that. And then I gotta use darker colors. Then it has this little thing like that. A little more green on here. Bring this up. Almost like a heart shape. Some of them are more rounded. And this one I think happens to be not a very round one. So you can make these shapes any way you want. You can make them more rounded. I'm using the darker color too. There's like this little thing on the pad. Now they put looks like some orange and some reds in there. I get this raspberry and orange. So I'm just going to kind of put a little bit of reflection color in here. Maybe put a bit in here too. All right, so now I want some green here. I'm going to do the lighter green with some yellow right here. Looks like the light is coming like this way. So it hit here and it hit there. So let's do a green and orange, or green, light green right here. Just sing over, let me move it this way or that way. This way. You're not looking too bad. So now I'm gonna like really, let me see. I'm gonna really kind of put some color right in here. Like I said, I'm gonna bring these flowers over. So I'm gonna go, oh, I need a little more green. Let me do a little more green in here. And you could once in a while push in a little green in here into your flowers because it would kind of be behind it. Or you would get a reflection, just a tiny bit, from the outside colors. This is more of a complicated painting. I know it. I know it is. Now, my people that watch me paint all the time, and they've been in my classes, they pick up on some of this lingo because they've been watching, or they've taken a few of my other classes. I do a lot of stuff in my classes. I don't, I was concerned at first if I was giving out too much of I do a lot more in my classes, in private classes, but the thing is that I don't, and I'm not the only artist who thinks this. There's a lot that won't share on their main page because they feel like they want them to pay, and I get that, and I understand it because you got to make a living. You can't keep doing this to not make money. But the thing is how are they going to know what you do if you don't show them what you can do? You know what I'm saying? Am I making any sense? And so I'm taking these advanced classes, and I'm basically being told the same thing. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. So, and I ain't got time to figure out who I taught what, when, and where, and what class, and, what day of the week. I don't know. I can't even get enough sleep. Okay, so I'm going to put some green in over here. Can't even get enough sleep, guys. Work on that every day. So now we got, everything blocked in. We got some lights and darks, some greens, some whites. So let's get into a smaller brush where we can do some detailing now. So I'm gonna get, what do I want? Do I want another round brush? Do I want to detail? I think I want like a little, is this small? I want to start, I think, with a little square flat brush. Here's one. Just so I can put some edges in on these flowers and make them nice and pointy. It's not a full one, it's a 1/2 inch. This being like 1 inch. This is like a 1/2 inch. And it's kind of a newer brush, so you have a nice flat square, they call it a chiseled edge. So it's nice and flat and I can work on the edge. So now I can go into, let's start out with this pink. And she's pretty dark on the inside. So I'm going to make a few petals right up in here. See, I can make these little like footballs. And I can kind of go in here and make these petals. And I'm picking up that raspberry and the tutti frutti, a little bit on my brush on each side. So I can really make these distinctive little things, petals, thingies. Now, on the top of this one was white. So I took my dirty brush and I picked up that white and I got this like fairly light pink. I made a little more tutti frutti. Tutti frutti, what bambooty. And I'm gonna go through and start making the same thing here and go around these darker ones. See, what's happening is I wasn't worried about the edges, so I'm covering up where those mistakes are. Now, there's going to be a deeper, darker down there, so I'm just going to do the tips here. So today we're just designing. Just designing. I'm going to put one right here. There's a dark on the bottom here, but I'm going to bring that right in like that. Keep this light right here. This light right here. Light right here. Let's do another one right here too. So now I'm going to go into that raspberry, straight raspberry. And I'm going to put some dark ones right here like this. Still got a dirty brush. That's okay. That's how you work when you're doing acrylics. You want a dirty brush sometimes. We don't really wipe the brush off a lot. You know, I just dab it on my paper towel. I mean, you know, I put it in my hand, but really people that are neater would have it right on their paper towel next to them. But me, I kind of like it right in my hand. I still do a lot of palette knife, and when you do palette knife, you need to keep it in your hand because you're constantly wiping it. So I'm keeping the base dark. I want that mid-tone pink too. I'm just going to use Tutti Frutti with my dirty brush. There's a little darkness to it, but not a lot. I still got Tutti Frutti with a touch of that raspberry, so I have a medium shade right here. And I'm start doing some blending. See, this one's dark underneath. This should be lighter. So you're going to play with this. You're just making little football shapes. And I'm going to still go over it one more time with a detail brush. So this is just kind of medium blocking in. And you're going to lighten these ends up a little bit more. Like I'm just going to go through and show you. I'm going to grab some white. These will be a little bit lighter too. I'm going to go through with some white at the end with a smaller brush. Now the middle part is that deeper, almost the brown color we had, but in a pink version. So it's too pink, a little bit of that chocolate brown. Kind of just go through and just kind of make these like this. I think actually a little deeper. And these are kind of just a middle stamen, you know, where the stamens would be. Like that. Oh, actually, I think I need a little orange in there too. I think there's, I detect a little orange in there, so. There you go. All right, so now I'm gonna just kind of rinse this brush off a little bit because we're gonna go into a whiter shade here. And I want this like that violet color, which is that lighter blue, which is this baby blue and that Deco Art. And I'm gonna take that with white. And I'm going to start doing the same thing. I'm gonna start kind of fixing in some leaves. These are really dark bluish color, but I'm gonna lighten them up as I go. You're gonna pick up a lot of, like I'm gonna put some reflections in the water from the colors of these flowers. These are gonna end up being really white, but I'm gonna kind of make sure I get all my blues. There's gonna be some yellows. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't finish the screen right here. Green, I'm gonna do that light green. Maybe a little bit darker, green and blue. Didn't finish this right here. Put a yellow highlight on that. Transition color here. All right. Rinse it pretty good. Now I think I'm gonna go to my smaller brush, a smaller round brush, and I'm going to really pick up a lot of white here, just white. And I'm gonna decide what I want as far as right here. This is a bigger one here. I think I'm gonna, we'll leave some of the blue showing. You wanna just kind of blend it and leave some of that blue showing. There's also some yellow up in here. So let's just pick up a dab of that yellow. Kind of highlight with it. There's some of that yellow right down in here. It's a very translucent yellow, so if it's too see-through, just add some white. I just watched this thing on, I use a lot of Liquitex color in my classes, private classes. Evidently, I gotta look now on the new colors when you buy a bottle. It'll say eye for iridescent or something like that, so I gotta go check it out. I thought that was pretty neat. Because sometimes you don't know if they're see-through or not unless you've been using them a while, you know. So now I'm adding like an orange, and I'm just kind of very smallly going through and just adding those little dabs. This is a round brush, about not real small, not real big. The other one was kind of big, but it was shorter here. This is just a round brush, comes to a point. You see that? All right. Go back into the white. Like I said, there's some yellow reflection from the sun's here, so I'm gonna just keep putting my white in and randomly pick up some where I think the sun would be hitting, which should be this side right here. Right here. I'm gonna put it right into that white while it's still wet. Just at the top part of this petal. I'm gonna wipe it off on my towel, and I'm gonna put another big one here. And the big one here. Now the bottom ones kind of end up like kind of flopping down. They look almost like pointed. That's just what they do. Get some more white. See, now I got those blue undertones, and that really makes the whole thing, because it's not solid white. I'm gonna blend that in. So I share what I do through all my groups. So I'm thinking a challenge, like you guys, you've been in challenges with me before. I didn't get that many people, but I didn't know what I was doing either. But I think I might do not a paid one. I might do a free one. I haven't made up my mind, but it will give everybody a chance. It's not sure what they want to do to see, and then pick up some people that are on the fence, or pick up some ideas and about what we do, and you know, watch us work, and we can talk, and might be a good way for them to learn about my group and the way I teach. Which still is an evolving thing for me, because it's not like painting with a twist. It's not that kind of painting. It's not like I'm kind of developing my own style with the teaching even. It's kind of morphed as I've gone, because, you know, of course it is for a lot of us, because a lot of us have never taught online. So it's not like it's exclusively me. There's a lot of them that have never, they might have been teachers or instructors, or they had a storefront, they did the painting, kind of twist paint kind of stuff, but they've never taught online. It's different when you're not right with the people. You know, you can't judge somebody if you can't see their face, you know, so there's a lot more to it than I thought. A lot more than I think a lot of people thought. Right, so I'm just going to do like a blue. I'm going to take the pink and the blue and make a violet on the dark side with the blue, a little pink in it. I'm going to like darken right in here. Then I'm going to take white, make some more petals right here. Come right in here, make some petals. If that makes any sense, that came out pretty good. Some of that blue all over. Let's take a little bit of that yellow and put some light on here too. Oops. So it's changed. So the group is going to change a little bit, and that's okay. Makes you feel a little more motivated when I can get out of the, out of the rut and show everybody some new stuff. And because I've learned stuff too, I go looking for things to teach everybody, and I try to find things that are teachable and fun, interesting at least. And I like doing flowers, and I think most of mine do. I did a couple surveys, and they all love doing flowers, and that's what I like doing, so why wouldn't I keep doing it, So that's how I ended up really kind of teaching more flowers, because that's what everybody likes, which is so funny, because that's what I like. But I think people know that, so that's why they gravitate towards what I'm doing, the ones that are kind of on here. At least that's what I'm assuming. All right, so this group's going to morph a little bit too, this free group. I'm going to take some of this pink. There's reflections of this pink off of here. So I might it's just straight Tutti Frutti. I might put some in here because it's being picked up from off of this flower. It's reflecting off the water. So you want to kind of pick up on those tones. Maybe there's a little bit right here. Alright, so now let me see what I want to do. I want to mess with this purple one. I want to keep like those tones. This is not like in either painting I'm looking at too. So I'm just gonna just go over this with the white, with a dirty brush, and I'm just gonna put in some petals and leave as much as that violet as I can. I'm just gonna kind of gently go over this, not dig in too deep here. This is kind of buried underneath that one. It's kind of a baby one, I think. That's what I think. I think a baby one. I want to have like you gotta have a yellow center a little bit here. Pick up a little green with this too. And then I'll do the orange. Then we can whiten that up more. Let's get some white. A lot of white. Make it really white. Put some extra petals in there. Yeah, it looks like the sun's gonna come out. Oh, that whole hazy thing. I didn't go outside. I think it's probably why I felt a little tired and worn out, maybe. Couldn't go outside. That's not good for you. You gotta go outside. Crazy, right? Those poor people up there. So we had to live inside as people that lost their homes and everything else. They're still burning. I don't know what's gonna happen, but so I'm kind of just mess with these tips a little bit. Take some of that pink and blue, make some more violet. Pink and blue, add some more white. So I got that kind of violet-y shade. I want to darken around those edges a little bit. Right in here. Just a few. I'll kind of blend them in a little bit. Well, that's fun, right? See, it's all about the colors and the lights and darks. You get away with a lot of stuff with lights and darks without really even having any definite lines, since I kind of went way overboard. So now I'm just going to play with the shadows and the darks and the lights. Now I want to make sure that you can see, I'll do some green and blue, that I can see some of these little tails. And there's one like right here. Green and blue, and maybe a little more green on this one. I might put a tail coming in here. And there's a tail. Let's just put the indication of a tail here. All right, so you know that they're not like, you know. And there should be some green underneath here too. I'm gonna make a little bit more of a straight green. I want there to be like some kind of, there is leaves on these too. It's not just, you know, I'm talking about leaves. Let's make one there. Let's kind of fix this one up a little bit. Let's put a little yellow on the edges. Blend it in. A little yellow in here too. Maybe this is kind of dark right here, but I'm still going to put a little bit of yellow on this side. Right here. You know, there's all these like really pretty colors, reflections from the flowers. So I'm going to put a few, like the pink, and there's like the orange pink. I mix the pink and the orange together. I just kind of randomly, like this is the top of the water. Remember, this is in water, so now I can float these a little bit over the top. Some orange and pink. Next to this thing, a little more pink. Just a little bit underneath this leaf right here. So you can have some fun with the colors. And there's some yellows here and there. Some yellows on top. And this brightens it up pretty good. Pink and orange again. It's that pretty orange and the pink looks so good together. I didn't know that would do that. Didn't know they would do that. So there's still some more like flowers up here with or leaves, but they're all like kind of bright colored. So I'm gonna put like, it looks like there's a bottom edge. Let me put that in here. I wasn't gonna do that, but it looks like the bottom edge of another flower right here. And I can kind of come back with some yellow right in here. Like there's another flower right there. And we could take some green and make another kind of leaf here, or let's blend in another leaf. There you go. That kind of fills it out nicely. Let me put one over in this corner, kind of put in some color there. Maybe a little yellow highlight on that. A little more. I'm hungry. All I had was a mango. I need something right here. Let me put a little leaf coming in right here too. I think that fills it out pretty good, right? See, some of these pinks are like in the leaves too, so gotta make sure you hit a few things with the pink. And then same here, you gotta hit a few things with the green too, and the yellow, because they're reflecting off everything. This is a little bit impressionistic, definitely impressionistic, because there's a lot of color here, and Impressionism uses a lot of color. So, trying to get more color in there. So I think that's good. I think I got a lot of color in there. All right, I'm gonna turn this around. You guys can take a look. Tell me what you think. I might fix this one edge up though. Let me see. Need to fill this in. Oh, I forgot about this. I seen somebody else. I didn't even know this still existed. The pages come out and they slip back in. Is that a riot? This is a good one. This is a Grumbucker. What do you think, guys? It's all right. I will post it and try to and put the link in so get people to come over here and watch this. Of course, if you do it, make sure you sign it. I always sign with either a Sharpie or my Posco pen. So that was a good little fun thing. You see, I'm like breathing better and everything. I just get so relaxed, you know, when I'm doing my painting. I just love it. So I might, just to clear up, I might go out and put those flowers. She's got great big boxes. She's been digging around out front, doing a lot of planting for me. Things I want to do over here. We got my one sister's really into. They're both. They say they're not gardeners. My one sister's like so into it. The other sister out back. There's 2 houses here, so they're really. Even though I know I love to garden, so tell me what I need. I'll try to help you. Came out pretty good. So, anyways, guys, I will see you next week here at 1 o'clock. And like I said, remember that. If you think you're going to join it sometime, get on the waiting list. I will put you on it. And when I get ready to do another, it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be fun. To be prizes, and it'll be like 2 or 3 days. I'm thinking, I'm looking into what different things I can do with it and make it fun so people get an idea what we do in our group. So anyways, guys, have a great afternoon, and I will see you guys Tuesday, 2:30 Eastern Central. Paint and Create on Wednesday at 7 o'clock. So have a great afternoon, guys, and I hope inspiration finds you wherever you go. Thanks.